injuries, call 212 Law Team.
Can I be compensated for injuries I sustained in a motorcycle accident, even though I was speeding? Yes, sometimes you can. Hi, my name is Matt Haicken. I'm a personal injury trial lawyer right here in New York City. In these videos you're about to see, my client was injured by a Frito-Lay delivery truck. And my client was on a motorcycle and he was clearly speeding. But I was still able to settle his case for a significant amount. Take a look at the video and we'll talk on the other side. This accident happened at the entrance to the Frito-Lay distribution plant. And one of the reasons I was able to settle this case for such a significant amount was because these delivery drivers are trained to watch out for bicyclists and people on motorcycles. There's even a sign that says, watch out for bicycles. My client was on it was either an electric bicycle, a motorcycle, it was ambiguous. So even though my client was speeding, the vehicle and traffic law in New York says that someone making a left-hand turn has to yield the right-of-way. So while there was some comparative fault on behalf of my client for speeding, the main culpability for this accident was the fact that the driver of the Frito-Lay truck made a left turn and my guy had the right-of-way. There were so many videos of this accident because it happened at the Frito-Lay plant, so they had many different angles of cameras, and it was very helpful for the case. Another reason I was able to settle the case for a substantial amount was because my client sustained very serious injuries. He had a broken rib, tears in both shoulders, and herniated discs in his neck and lower back. He had to have surgery on all those 4 body parts I just mentioned, including a cervical fusion where 2 of his vertebrae are essentially welded together. So he had cervical fusion and a fusion in the lower back. So when you have a combination of massive injuries, a truck that made a left turn in front of somebody, and then you have some comparative fault, you can still settle the case for a significant amount. Another reason I was able to settle the case is because these big companies don't like publicity. In fact, when we settled the case, I had to sign a confidentiality agreement stating that I would never disclose, my client and I would never disclose the amount. But even without that, this case was on News 12, as you saw in the video. It was also in the Daily News in a story about how cases were not settling in the pandemic. And big companies, household names, they don't like the publicity, especially because Frito-Lay had been in the news for earning record profits during the pandemic. Everybody was sitting at home eating potato chips. They were making billions of dollars, and they were saying, well, we can't pay this poor guy who was catastrophically injured in a motorcycle accident. So it didn't look good for them. I always like to get publicity to use it as a lever to settle cases. I realize you may have come across this video because you yourself might have been injured in a motorcycle accident, and maybe you're wondering if you have a case because perhaps you were speeding when the accident happened. If you have any questions about your case, feel free to give me a call. My team and I handle cases like this all the time. We're happy to talk to you. The call is always free. For accidents and injuries, call 212 Law Team.